and daddy's divorce, and a divorced mom pretty much got nothing. I'm not going to leave my mom by herself. So I'm going to make sure my mother's taken care of. None of my siblings have helped me take care of my mother to make sure she was okay, except for Tamar. No one said,
This is before Vincent.
Before Vincent. Mommy's car insurance is due. Let's help Toni with mommy car insurance.
Or mommy needs a car.
Normally, I would never have a conversation with Trina or any of my sisters about helping out financially with my mom. But because I'm so stressed in that category, I needed to let her know what I felt. Hurts my feelings every day. My feelings hurt every day because I'm in a financial situation myself because I can't work the way.
It finally happened. Toni Braxton has officially cut Towanda OFF. And the reason? Cold, hard, cash. Sources close to the Braxton production team confirm that Towanda was quietly removed from the upcoming family show after Toni allegedly discovered she had embezzled over $50,000 from Tamar's personal business account. Money that was meant to support the very show they were filming. The betrayal rocked the sisters to the core, but what's worse is that Towanda didn't even deny it. Instead, she tried to flip the narrative, claiming Tamar owed her for years of unpaid family loyalty. Baby. What? The fallout was instant. Tamar reportedly broke down in front of cameras, Toni went full executive mode, and Evelyn refused to mediate this time. Behind-the-scenes footage shows Toni telling producers, if she's gonna steal from her own sister, she's not stepping foot on my set. Now the family brand is in crisis mode, and fans are choosing sides fast. Was this just business gone bad? Or has Towanda been harboring resentment for decades? One thing's for sure, the Braxton family show may never be the same again. It was supposed to be the Braxton family's big comeback. A sleek, rebranded docuseries, new network, new production company, new money. The cameras were already rolling, cast contracts were signed, and Toni had taken the lead as executive producer. Everything was moving forward until one call from the network's finance department flipped the entire production upside down. $50,000 missing. Withdrawn from a joint fund meant to cover show expenses and team payroll. The name on the transaction? Towanda Braxton. At first, Tamar thought it had to be a mistake. She had helped set up that account herself, contributing a large portion of the seed money to ensure no delays on the new project. She trusted the family, especially after everything they'd been through. But when the receipts landed on her desk, complete with Towanda's signature and timestamp, Tamar reportedly went into full meltdown mode, screaming, "She stole from me? From me? After everything I've done?" Toni tried to handle it quietly, arranging a private sit-down at her LA home with Tamar, Towanda, and their lawyers. But what was meant to be a calm intervention quickly became a war. Towanda allegedly arrived late, defensive from the moment she walked in. According to a staffer who overheard the argument, Tamar stood up and pointed at her sister, yelling, "You could have just asked. I would have helped you. But you took it behind my back." Towanda's response? Ice cold. "I took what I was owed." The room went silent. That one sentence told the entire story. This wasn't just theft, it was revenge. Years of resentment, years of living in Tamar and Toni's shadow, years of feeling overlooked, underappreciated, and financially left out. It all boiled over in that moment. Towanda didn't see it as stealing. She saw it as compensation. Toni, visibly shaking, ended the conversation with one final sentence. "You're off the show." The decision was instant. Towanda's scenes were cut. Contracts were revised. Producers were told not to schedule her for any more filming days. And just like that, one of the Braxton sisters was blacklisted from her own family's project. But Towanda didn't go quietly. Hours later, she went live on Instagram, sitting in her car, face beat, lips tight, and said, "Let them tell it how they want, but I won't be the scapegoat for a show that was never about family. It was always about control." She didn't deny the transaction. She didn't apologize. Instead, she made herself the victim, claiming the $50K was a reimbursement for unpaid work she did during earlier seasons of Braxton Family Values and other family business ventures. "I carried this family on my back for years," she said, "and I never got a thank you, let alone a paycheck." The internet erupted. Fans were split. Some accused Towanda of betrayal. Others said Toni and Tamar had always acted superior. But what no one could deny was the emotional destruction left in the wake of that missing $50K. It wasn't just about the money, it was about trust, ego, and deep-seated pain that had never been resolved. Meanwhile, insiders revealed that Tamar broke down on set days after the confrontation, needing to be pulled from filming for several hours. She allegedly told crew members, "I don't even care about the money. I care that my own sister looked me in the face for weeks knowing what she did." Even Evelyn, the Braxton matriarch, couldn't repair the damage. When asked to weigh in, she reportedly said, "I raised strong daughters, but pride can turn strength into poison." Now the entire future of the family show hangs in the balance. The network wants drama, but not this kind of drama. Legal, real, painful. Toni has taken over full control as executive producer, demanding a re-edit of all footage including Towanda. But can she save a show built on sisterhood when that very sisterhood just cracked wide open? Towanda may have left the show, but her shadow lingered in every scene. Her absence wasn't just noticeable, it was disruptive. Filming halted for days, scripts were scrapped. The energy on set shifted from reunion to recovery, with Toni working around the clock to keep the cameras rolling and the cast composed. But even with Toni's best efforts, nothing could erase the fact that the betrayal was now the show. Insiders said Tamar barely spoke during group scenes, her usual fire replaced with stunned silence. Crew members described the vibe as tense, like something sacred had been violated, and behind closed doors, things were worse. Tamar had reportedly begun questioning every financial arrangement within the family brand, demanding audits, receipts, contracts, even petty cash logs. She wasn't paranoid. She was done being the silent ATM. Towanda, meanwhile, was leveraging the controversy. Days after being axed from the show, she announced a surprise appearance on a podcast titled "Family Ain't Family No More." The episode dropped with a trigger warning label and instantly topped the charts. In it, she doubled down on her actions, claiming she had no remorse because Tamar and Toni had been cutting her out of deals for years. "I watched them collect checks while I showed up for free. They called it family. I call it exploitation." Listeners were stunned. Some nodded along. Others dragged her for filth. But one thing was clear: Towanda wasn't backing down. She alleged that Tamar's glam budget for the show alone was triple Towanda's entire season salary. She accused Toni of having a separate production team just for her solo confessionals. And most damning of all, she claimed Evelyn knew about the missing money and said nothing. "My mama said, 'Handle it how you see fit.' So I did." Now fans didn't know who to believe. Was Towanda a thief, or was she the only one brave enough to expose the inner workings of a family built on controlled narratives and polished veneers? Toni, in response, released a rare statement. Cold. Corporate. Sharp. This production is built on transparency, professionalism, and sisterhood. Theft of any kind will not be tolerated. Our goal is healing, not harm. But no one was healed. Not Tamar, not the crew, and definitely not Ashley, who had just finished navigating her own identity crisis weeks earlier when her DNA truth came out. Now, she was back on set, trying to participate in filming, while her mother Tamar unraveled in real time. Producers began whispering about scrapping the show entirely. The footage was unusable. Every scene needed recontextualizing. They didn't want to air episodes celebrating Braxton unity, knowing there was a theft scandal rotting under the surface. One exec reportedly said, "If Toni wasn't attached, we'd pull out. It's a disaster." But Toni wasn't backing down. She brought in new writers, reshaped the storyline, and even considered turning the scandal into a major plotline, framing it as a cautionary tale about money and trust. The idea? Turn pain into profit. But Tamar refused. "I'm not turning my trauma into entertainment," she told the team. "Not again. Not this time." And just when things couldn't get messier, they did. Towanda's ex, yes, the one who'd been quiet for years, jumped into the mess with screenshots of old texts between Towanda and an unnamed producer. In the messages, she allegedly plotted to pull the plug on Tamar's account and teach her a lesson. Whether real or doctored, the screenshots blew up. Fans turned on Towanda overnight. Suddenly, Team Tamar was trending again. Bloggers tore Towanda apart. Even some of her earlier supporters started walking back their comments. The narrative flipped hard. And Toni? She pounced. The next morning, a leaked email showed Toni officially banning Towanda from all future Braxton family productions indefinitely. The Braxton name was once synonymous with unity. Now it was trending for all the wrong reasons. With Towanda officially cut out of all future episodes, the remaining sisters were left scrambling to repair the shattered foundation of the family show. But the damage wasn't just personal, it was legal, financial, and deeply emotional. What started as a shocking betrayal had spiraled into a full-blown family war, one that no publicist could patch up. Tamar, now in full protective mode, took no chances. She brought in a forensic accountant to go through every Braxton family LLC file dating back 5 years. What they found allegedly shook her to the core. The $50K Towanda withdrew was just the beginning. There were multiple unexplained transactions, small but frequent, routed through shell business accounts connected to family ventures, production deals, merch rollouts, even royalty splits. Word on the street? Towanda had been helping herself to off-the-books bonuses for years. When Tamar confronted Toni with the findings, Toni allegedly broke down. She'd always tried to believe the best in her sisters, especially Towanda, who was often seen as the quiet soldier of the group, but now the truth was undeniable. Tamar reportedly said, "She's not just stealing money, she's stealing peace." Toni responded with action. A full Braxton brand audit was launched. All financial access was revoked for anyone not under contract, and Toni personally reached out to the network to request editorial approval over the final cut of the season. She wasn't playing. Not after Towanda's betrayal nearly tanked the entire project. Towanda, however, was playing her own game. In a bold move, she leaked private emails between Tamar and a now-defunct network partner that showed Tamar trying to exclude Towanda from early production meetings. The messages didn't include any mention of money, but they painted Tamar as someone willing to push her sister out of the spotlight behind the scenes. That leak reignited the internet firestorm. Fans were now arguing again, was this whole fallout really about money? Or was it about fame and power? But the most heartbreaking part of the chaos? The silence between the sisters. There were no calls, no texts. Tamar blocked Towanda on everything. Toni told her assistant to reject any messages from her. Trina refused to comment at all, reportedly telling close friends, "I'm not choosing sides this time, I'm choosing peace." Even Evelyn Braxton, the matriarch who had weathered every family storm, was forced to take a side. She appeared on a gospel radio segment to speak vaguely about the situation, saying, "Sometimes the devil walks right into your house wearing your child's face." Fans immediately took it as a dig toward Towanda. The network, meanwhile, saw an opportunity. Ratings projections were already higher than expected, and producers floated the idea of a reconciliation special. But Tamar wasn't having it. "I'm not filming fake forgiveness just so y'all can cash a check." And that's when the documents surfaced. Leaked from an anonymous email to several media outlets, the documents appeared to be a notarized agreement signed years ago by all the sisters, including Towanda, confirming that Tamar had invested over $100K of her own money into launching the reboot. The agreement clearly stated that any funds withdrawn required written approval. Towanda's signature was right there. The receipts were undeniable. Fans were done. Shady Towanda trended overnight. Tamar was right hit 1 million mentions. Even celebrities like K. Michelle, who's had beef with Tamar for years, tweeted, "Even I wouldn't steal from my sister. Damn." Tamar, still reeling from the betrayal, posted one final tweet before going silent again. "Family or not, a thief is a thief. And when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time." The final blow didn't come from Towanda, it came from the fans. After weeks of back-and-forth drama, exposés, receipts, and raw confessions, the Braxton sisters had officially lost the public's trust. Even with Tamar's voice shaking in interviews and Toni's iron grip on production, the audience was no longer seeing black excellence. They were seeing chaos, greed, and a family more interested in clout than healing. The internet made its judgment. The Braxtons were broken, and now they were exploiting their pain for views. But inside Tamar's circle, something shifted. She wasn't just angry anymore. She was disappointed. Betrayal from the outside world was one thing, but betrayal from her own blood? That sat differently. She began pulling out of select filming days, showing up late, avoiding confessionals. Rumors started that she was considering quitting the show entirely, claiming it had become a circus built on trauma. A close friend leaked a message from her that read, "It's not a show anymore. It's therapy with cameras. And I didn't sign up for that." Toni refused to let it all crumble. She called an emergency production meeting and asked the network to shift the focus of the final episodes. Instead of pushing the feud, she wanted the story to pivot from scandal to solution. She wanted to talk about boundaries, recovery, and how even in betrayal, there's a chance to reclaim peace. It was a noble idea, but not everyone was convinced. Especially not Towanda, who was preparing her next move. Towanda announced her own show, a digital series titled Family Over Fame. In a 2-minute teaser, she spoke directly to the camera. They told their version. Now it's my turn. Fans were immediately skeptical. But curiosity had already taken over. Whether they loved or hated her, they were going to watch. Tamar, when asked if she'd respond, told her team, "Let her. If that's how she feeds her ego, so be it. But she's never stepping foot in my space again." Toni, caught in the middle, was drowning. She had invested her name, money, and soul into rebooting the Braxton brand. Now she was watching it burn from both ends, with Tamar emotionally withdrawing and Towanda launching an alternative narrative. Even Tracy's widower Kevin, once neutral, went public in a now viral IG Live, saying, "This ain't what Tracy wanted. This ain't what the family should be. Y'all forgot the love." The only person who hadn't spoken, Evelyn. Her silence became louder with every day. Blogs speculated she was furious not just at Towanda, but at how Tamar and Toni allowed the fallout to become public spectacle. Others believed she was negotiating her own sit-down interview with a major outlet. And when she finally broke her silence, it wasn't what anyone expected. In a pre-recorded clip posted to her Instagram, Evelyn looked into the camera and said, "I raised my girls in a tough world. I made mistakes. But stealing from your sister, that's not survival. That's selfishness." She didn't name Towanda. She didn't have to. The line was drawn. Officially, Towanda was out, and the Braxton family, fractured as it was, had chosen to move on without her. The fallout from Towanda's exile wasn't just messy, it was historic. Never in Braxton family history had one sister been so publicly excommunicated from the brand they all helped build. Fans couldn't believe it. What started as a money dispute had turned into a cold war between sisters, and while the cameras tried to keep filming the healing process, the reality was that nobody was healing, they were just hiding. Toni, who once believed she could fix anything with a little music and a prayer, now faced the harsh truth. Not every wound heals with time, some require removal. And that's exactly what she did. Legal teams were called in, a full re-edit of the show was commissioned, and every episode Towanda appeared in, scrubbed, recast, rewritten. Tamar, meanwhile, was spiraling quietly. Yes. She had the public on her side. Yes. The receipts confirmed Towanda's actions. But deep down, this wasn't just about a stolen $50,000. It was about a childhood full of competition. A lifetime of being told she was too much, while still being expected to save everyone. She reportedly told a friend off camera, "She didn't just steal money, she stole the last piece of me that still believed we were sisters first and business second." The pain was real, but Tamar wasn't falling apart. She was getting strategic. Behind closed doors, Tamar began rebuilding her empire solo. New music, a new podcast, and an upcoming memoir already being shopped around. tentatively titled, The Last Braxton Standing. Early excerpts teased a chapter that would directly confront financial abuse within family circles and the myth of loyalty when jealousy is the currency. Towanda responded in true Towanda fashion. Quietly, then explosively. She posted a cryptic Instagram story. Every Judas had a story too. Don't get it twisted. She followed it with a black and white photo of herself from 1998, the year the original Braxton Sisters group disbanded after Toni went solo, and the rest were pushed into the background. It wasn't just a post, it was a message. Towanda wanted the world to know she had been hurt first. That Tamar, Toni, and even Evelyn had built empires while she played support. That the $50K was never about greed, it was about dignity. But even sympathy for Towanda couldn't save her now. A second audit revealed more questionable withdrawals, this time from joint appearance fees dating back 2 years. Text messages appeared to show Towanda asking a former assistant to round off numbers during payment splits. And the worst part? One of the transactions came directly from Tracy's Memorial Performance account. Yes, money tied to their late sister's legacy. That was the final straw. Toni called an emergency family meeting, this time without Towanda. Tamar, Trina, Evelyn, and even Ashley were present. Sources say the room was heavy, no one said her name, but every conversation was about boundaries, betrayal, and what kind of legacy they wanted to leave behind. Tamar reportedly said, "We can't change what she did, but we can change what we allow moving forward." Evelyn, teary-eyed for the first time since the scandal broke, reportedly added, "I have 5 daughters. But I don't recognize one of them anymore." The silence that followed? Deafening. By the end of it all, the Braxton brand didn't just survive, it transformed. But the cost? Irreversible. Towanda, once a vital thread in the tapestry of the Braxton legacy, had become a cautionary tale, not just about money, but about pride, power, and pain that festered too long in silence. The show went on, but not untouched. Every scene was different now. Every smile had history. Every laugh had a crack beneath it. The final episode of the Braxton reboot ended with a dedication to sisterhood. Tamar and Toni, standing side by side, shared a tearful, raw moment on screen. There were no scripts, no producers, just them. "We've been through so much," Tamar whispered. "And even though we lost something we can't get back, I still believe in love, in family, even if it hurts." Toni, strong but visibly emotional, added, "We don't need perfect to be powerful, we just need truth. And we're gonna keep telling it even if it breaks our hearts." Towanda was never mentioned by name, not once, but her presence lingered in every unspoken sentence. She had been erased from the episodes, but not from the story. Not from the damage. Not from the memory of a sisterhood that could have healed if only she had made a different choice. As the credits rolled, Ashley Braxton sang a soft, stripped version of "Unbreak My Heart," her voice trembling, full of grief and growth. It was symbolic, a daughter of silence, now finally heard, while the woman who tried to force her narrative through bitterness was left outside, alone with her camera and her pain. Towanda's show never took off. Only 2 episodes aired before her production team quit due to creative differences. Sponsors pulled out. Viewers lost interest. The world had already chosen whose truth they believed, and it wasn't hers. Her Instagram went dark. No posts, no lives, just silence. And for once, maybe that was the only way forward. Whew, if that wasn't the wildest Braxton bombshell yet, we don't know what is. Toni taking charge, Tamar reclaiming her voice, and Towanda exposing her own downfall? This isn't just family drama, this is a full-blown emotional war wrapped in reality TV gold. But beneath the betrayal, receipts, and re-edits, one truth remains. When family and money mix, the wounds cut deeper than anyone expects. If you were hooked by this story, hit that like button and comment below with your thoughts. Was Toni right to kick Towanda off the show? Should Tamar ever forgive her? Or is this one betrayal too far? And don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell, because the next Braxton scandal is always just one secret away from exploding. Number Toni Braxton. Number Tamar Braxton. Number Towanda Braxton. Number Braxton family drama. Number family feud. Number Tamar speaks. Number Towanda removed. Number reality TV bombshell. Number love and lies. Number black excellence or exposed.